If you wake up one morning and feel no desire to rise, if a quiet heaviness holds you still, not from exhaustion, but from something nameless, Jung would not call you lazy. He would call you listening. Because what you feel in those moments is not weakness. It is the whisper of the soul, speaking a language older than words. You may have been taught to hate that silence, to fight it, to push through, to stay productive. But Jung knew something modern society has forgotten. When the soul grows silent, it is not abandoning you. It is calling you inward. We've been trained to worship motion, to equate stillness with failure, to see rest as a crime against ambition. But the psyche does not obey the clock. It obeys truth. And sometimes, truth demands that you stop. The stillness you call laziness is not decay. It is incubation, a sacred pause where the unconscious rearranges the architecture of your being. The conscious mind sees nothing happening. But deep beneath awareness, something ancient is moving, reorganizing your energy, preparing rebirth. Imagine your psyche as a vast forest in winter. On the surface, it seems barren, lifeless. But underground, the roots are alive, gathering strength for spring. Your tiredness may simply be nature working through you, a sign that an old season is ending. Jung called this psychic incubation, a retreat of energy from the outer world, so the inner world can heal and reshape itself. It is not avoidance. It is alignment. He observed that this laziness of the soul wears many faces. 5, in particular, speak most clearly. The first is the laziness of misalignment. When your outer life no longer reflects your inner truth, energy withdraws. Tasks that once felt meaningful now taste hollow. Your soul quietly says, I will not power the life that is not mine. This fatigue is not failure. It is rebellion against falseness. The second is the laziness of unmourned grief. Sometimes the tiredness you feel is the echo of a loss you never faced, a death, a breakup, an identity that dissolved quietly. Unprocessed sorrow drains psychic energy. The soul whispers, stop, honor what has been lost. Until you do, it withholds vitality, holding vigil in silence. The third is the laziness of emotional overload. Some souls absorb too much, from people, from the world's chaos, from pain that isn't theirs. Jung called them empathic vessels, souls that feel the temperature of every room. Their exhaustion is purification. Stillness becomes medicine, a way for the nervous system to reset and the psyche to exhale. The fourth is the laziness of transition. It appears when an old identity dissolves, but the new one is not yet formed. Jung called this the liminal space, the in-between, the sacred cocoon. You are no longer who you were, but not yet who you will become. Like a snake shedding its skin, you must retreat into darkness, vulnerable, raw, waiting for your next form to take shape. In every myth, the hero descends before returning, into caves, deserts, underworlds. Your fatigue is that descent. The fifth is the laziness of blocked creativity. When your life becomes too narrow, too practical, too afraid, the creative fire within turns inward, curdling into apathy or sadness. The soul cries out, stop wasting my fire on what does not matter. This is not the end of your energy. It is energy demanding meaning. In each of these, your body becomes the voice of the unconscious. The heaviness you feel is not punishment. It is invitation. Your stillness is sacred ground. The question beneath all of them is the same. What part of me is asking to be born? The unconscious is not idle in these pauses. It dreams through you. It builds new symbols, reshapes desires, rewrites the inner script of your life. It needs darkness, pressure, and time, the same way the earth needs winter before spring. The modern ego resists this. It demands charts, metrics, progress, but the soul is not a factory. It is an ecosystem, and ecosystems grow in cycles. Birth, decay, renewal. So the next time you feel too tired to move, imagine your soul whispering, rest. I am working. Because when energy withdraws, it is not abandonment. It is recalibration. The fatigue you fear may be the space between breaths, the sacred pause before inspiration returns. The art is not to resist it. The art is to listen. When you fight stillness, you fight your own becoming. When you fill silence with distraction, you drown out the voice that would guide you. Jung called the practice of listening active imagination, a dialogue with the unseen within. You do not need rituals or theory. You only need presence. When the heaviness returns, take a pen. Write without thinking. Let your thoughts wander like water. Fragments, images, nonsense, all of it matters. Through this, the unconscious reveals its language, symbols, dreams, archetypes whispering from below. Soon, patterns emerge, a recurring image, a forgotten memory, a feeling that refuses to leave. Follow it. Is the psyche's compass pointing toward meaning? Jung proposed 3 sacred questions for such moments. What am I protecting myself from? What in my life no longer serves my growth? Which version of me is longing to be born? The answers rarely come as logic. They come as warmth, as image, as intuition. This is the language of the self, the archetype of wholeness within you. And here lies the paradox. Sometimes the most powerful action is inaction. To do nothing, consciously, is a sacred rebellion. It is choosing being over performing, presence over productivity. When you rest with awareness, you do not escape life. You participate in its deeper rhythm. In ancient alchemy, material had to rest in darkness before it could turn to gold. The soul follows the same law. It must dissolve in stillness before it can reveal its new form. Jung called this the nigredo, the black stage of transformation. You may one day awaken with new eyes. The same world, but seen through different light. This is how the unconscious announces that incubation has ended. You begin to dream again. You feel curiosity returning, not forced but flowing. Energy rises quietly, like dawn breaking through forest mist. The soul whispers, now move, but move with purpose. Society celebrates endless motion, optimization, hustle, busyness, but all great awakenings began in silence. Newton under the apple tree, Buddha beneath the Bodhi, Christ in the desert, Jung by the lake at Bollingen Tower. Each withdrew, each listened, each returned transformed. Stillness is not the enemy of progress. It is its origin. To pause when the world demands speed, that is courage. To rest when others compete, that is strength. To honor your own rhythm in a culture of noise, that is wisdom. So when the heaviness comes again, do not curse it. Thank it. Your psyche is protecting you from a life that no longer fits. It is rewriting your script. It is calling you home, because your soul does not ask for laziness. It asks for authenticity. It asks for silence deep enough for truth to rise. And sometimes, to hear that truth, you must quiet every outer voice, including your own. So rest. Listen. There's a new you forming in the quiet. And when the time comes, you won't need to force your next step. It will rise naturally, like dawn through the forest of your becoming.